clients, who live there. I've done their houses or whatever that live there. And it's a relatively upscale. I mean, I guess it's generally an affluent area, I guess. I mean, it's not like Highland Park or anything here or Preston Hollow, but it's like a really nice place to live mostly. I mean, there's poor parts too, but you know what I mean. But anyway, but I would never, this is one of the reasons I don't like to live. I would not want to live actually in the suburbs of Dallas, because, and why I chose to live in the city of Dallas as opposed to a suburb, because, my house here is worth about $400,000. So if I got this house, if I took $400,000, I could get out of this house or whatever, and I could go to the suburbs and get a house, brand new house, with 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms or whatever, and an acre of land. But it would be in the suburbs, and it would be in, a place like Plano or Frisco or McKinney or Allen, or places like where everything's new and fresh and everything else, and the schools are great and everything else. But they're full of Republicans. They're full of fucking back-ass-words people who think like the idiots that they are, generally speaking. That's why I don't live in the suburbs and why I chose not to live there. I could have easily lived there, but I chose not to. For those reasons, I chose to live in the city of Dallas, in the core, because I did not want to have to endure any more people like that than I had to. It's not that those people don't exist in here as well. It's just that they're far more prolific in the suburbs because of white flight, people trying to get the fuck away from the black people, the Mexican people, and the Asian people, and the gays, and whatever. So because we're all down here, not all of us, but I mean, you know what I mean. So it's like those people, the ones that are trying to get away from gay people and everybody else, are the ones who are moving out away from the city. And then they're getting farther and farther and farther north. It's like eventually going to be in fucking Oklahoma. So anyway, my point is that there's this ordinance here in Plano now that they're trying to, the city of Dallas, the city of Plano, and several other cities in the Dallas area passed ordinances in the last election in November that stated that that gays and lesbians could not be discriminated against for employment or based on religious reasons or whatever else. And there's an ordinance they're trying to pass now, or overturn that ordinance there, so that they make it illegal or whatever to actually cater to gay people if. Or what did it say? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I should have it in front of me, but I don't. It's something about, let me see if I can find the article. Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. Let me read it to you, because I'm not very eloquent tonight. It says, homophobic citizens in Plano are on a mission to undo a non-discrimination ordinance passed last month that protects LGBT people from being unfairly targeted because they can. The Texas Pastor Council of Plano, Texas, sent out a press release bragging about a petition it has started to strip the city's law books of its non-discrimination ordinance passed last month by the Plano City Council. The ordinance bans unfair treatment in employment, housing, and public accommodations based on sexual orientation and gender identity. According to the Texas Pastor Council, the petition has already garnered 5,500 signatures. Quote, in spite of the challenges created by the suspect timing of the city council's passage of this ordinance, we set a goal to collect twice the minimum number of signatures needed, a spokesperson for the hate group said in a press release. We want to send a clear message to Mayor La Rosalier, I don't know how you say that last name, and Councilman Minor, Davidson Smith, and Downs, who all voted for this ordinance. You can ignore the citizens at the city council meeting, but we will make our voices heard for this petition and next May at the polls. Since everything's bigger in Texas, the proposed measure the hate group hopes to get on this spring's ballot won't just nullify Plano's non-discrimination ordinance. If passed, it will also nullify similar ordinances in Dallas, El Paso, Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio, affecting roughly 7.5 million Texans, more than 1/4 of the state's entire population. We are certain that once Plano citizens realize the city council has criminalized religious views about sex and gender, the ordinance will be rejected overwhelmingly at the polls, the spokesperson said. The citizens of Plano are good and decent and treat one another with respect, so criminalizing the beliefs of our diverse communities of faith does not advance the common good. Okay, so let's just substitute for sex and gender, race, or what? Just it's substitute race. If we were talking about black people or Hispanic people or some particular race of people, which is a class of people in this country, as are gay people, this would not be even on the books. No, it wouldn't be allowed to say we're going to, because of our religion, we feel how we feel about black people or Mexican people or Hispanic people, whatever, or gay people in this case. Because of our religious beliefs, you don't have the right to tell us we have to treat you equally in employment, housing, and public accommodations. So it's no different than when black people were trying to fight for their equality under the law, treatment and employment, housing, etc. In the 60s because they were black. It's the same thing with gay people in this day and age, and especially in Plano, Texas. This kind of thing is ridiculous, and I don't know what's going to happen with it. I hope to God it doesn't pass or come through. But the fact that people, are so upset, they have there's such hatred in their hearts and such horribly brainwashed brains by their religious belief system, to think that being gay is such a horrible thing and people who are gay are evil and disgusting and wrong or whatever, and that they are somehow supposed to be these martyrs for their religious belief and make life hell for gay people whenever they can, and make sure gay people don't have equal treatment because they're not equal to us because we're better than they are because we're straight. That bullshit is the kind of nonsense. It's no different than the Nazis in Germany. It's no different than the KKK in the South. It's all the fucking same. And anyone with a brain can see that and recognize that. It's only people like this that have such vitriol and such hatred in their hearts that feel the need to consistently make equal rights somehow a subject of discussion, as if it should be something that we debate. It's not something we should debate. It isn't debatable. Civil rights, human rights, is not something that we as humans have the right to argue over in terms of, someone's life and livelihood. It's human rights. You have them or you don't. You're human, you get them, period. It doesn't matter what kind of human you are, because we're all the same. We're all fucking human. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is, or who you fall in love with, and who you have sex with, or what gender you are, whatever. If you're human, you have the same rights as every other human. That's the way it should be. And anyone with a fucking brain knows that. So the fact that we're still debating this bullshit is so fucking stupid. But I mean, what can you expect from Plano, Texas? That's why I don't go there unless I have to. Actually, today, I have a client who lives there, a couple that lives in Plano, and they live in like $1 million house, and it's like a huge house. It's like 7,000 square feet. And I'm doing the interior design and architecture of their house. We're remodeling the whole thing. And they're like my age range. I think they're like my age, like in their late 30s or something. And they seem really nice and everything. And so I don't know what their religious beliefs are or whatever. I don't really care. But my point is, is the people around them, in that general vicinity in Plano are all very bigoted people. I'd say it's probably 70-30. 70% of people in Plano are pretty bigoted and right-wing Republican Tea Party type people, and the other 30% are liberal-minded, open-minded people who don't care. And they both exist. And just because someone's a Christian doesn't make them a bigot. And just because someone is Hindu or someone is Catholic or whatever religion they may be, Jewish, whatever, it doesn't make them a bigot. It's just that, as I've said before, typically when someone is a bigot, they are a Republican. And typically when someone is a bigot, they are a Christian or whatever religion you want to pick. So anywho, hopefully that will not pass. We'll see what happens. Then there's the porn star Johnny Rapid. Johnny Rapid is he's young. I don't know how he's probably 22 or something. I don't know. He did like a lot of bareback stuff a long time ago, I think. And he's done, a lot of porn. And so he's got some money now as a result of it. He was very popular. But anyway, he offered Justin Bieber $2 million to do porn with him, which of course he's not going to do, and I'm sure he knew. It's just a publicity stunt. But he actually offered him that. But now he's actually in jail for assaulting somebody or something like that. He assaulted someone. And the thing about the porn industry is it's like all these people, you think about people who want to be movie stars. Okay, first of all, just people who want to go to Hollywood and act just regularly. And some of the people may end up in porn that do that because they couldn't make it as an actor for whatever reason. People who want to act generally need and crave attention because they didn't get enough attention as a child, or they're somehow unique and feel as an outcast, and so they need to get that adulation that they've always wanted. I mean, people who want to be famous or be a star generally do it because of those reasons. There's a difference between wanting to be an actor and wanting to be a star, but somebody who wants to be famous, and that's how most people these days are, and that the young people in the 20s and stuff who want to go to Hollywood generally just want to be famous. It's not about them wanting to be an actor or a writer or producer. It's about them wanting to be famous. So the point is those people already have issues, generally speaking. Not all of them. I'm sure there's some well-balanced actors out there who go to Hollywood, and I'm sure they exist. I know they do. But I'm saying generally. And so if that's the case with just a regular actor, think about someone who ends up doing pornography. Someone who ends up doing pornography porn, and like gay porn or straight porn or whatever, and really just is prolific with it, not just a one-off thing even, is going to have even deeper issues, I think, probably sexual abuse they had as a child, sexually abused or used or whatever. I read this autobiography about Joey Stefano about 10 years ago called Wonder Bread and Ecstasy. Really good biography. I love to read biographies. And it was about his time. He was a very famous porn star in the 80s and the early 90s and to mid 90s, and famous for his ass. He was a bottom, and he just beautiful, gorgeous man, gorgeous eyes and everything else. But he had a really hard time in the industry, and it kind of just talks about how it kind of swallows you whole and spits you out, so to speak. And you definitely have an expiration date. And so people like Johnny Rapid, who are in porn today, often do end up getting in trouble with the law. I mean, there's like dozens and dozens and dozens, or maybe hundreds of examples I could probably give you about gay guys who went into porn, who became famous porn stars, who ended up, killing somebody or getting killed or dying of drug overdose or assault or murder. I mean, there's just tons of them. And so it's not a good life or good way to live your life. Ultimately, if it's something you're looking to do for the rest of your life, it's not going to work that way. There's a timestamp to it. I have nothing against pornography itself. I mean, I definitely like it. It's fine with me. But when it comes to actual people who are in it, I think that it's you have to be someone who's very, very well grounded and someone who knows who they are and isn't just there for the adulation, and someone who understands that it's a temporary thing. It's not going to last your lifetime. You can't make a lifetime career out of pornography once you just do one once a year or something for the rest of your life. So anyway, that's what's happening with him and that. But I think that it's sad because I find it, these people who do these things are typically very beautiful people. Obviously, that's why they're in pornography. And yet they could use their talents to do something so much more productive, like modeling, like real modeling, like modeling, being a model, or whatever. I mean, there was one guy, Arpad Mikolos, I think his name was. He killed himself, I think last year it was. And he was a very prolific gay porn star as well, and he was actually like a chemist or something, like an astrophysicist or some shit like that by day, and at night he was doing this. And so even he wasn't even that, like, couldn't deal with the lifestyle that it has. And so of course I think drugs are a big part of it too. Anyway, rambling on. That's what I want to say about that. And then Jared Leto, by the way, people are all shocked that he may be bisexual because Alexis Arquette, whom has talked about sleeping with him before, about his dick and everything, when she was a he, was talking about how he also slept with transsexuals, transgender people, whatever, and men and women at the same time, and blah blah blah. And so, being bisexual is a real thing. I think. I don't think being bisexual is not real. A lot of people say, "Oh, bisexual is just on the way to Gayville or whatever."